The basketball playoffs are here on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on the action. The app is simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code FIELD, that's code FIELD, and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code FIELD on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
So what have I learned this episode? Well, what are we going to learn this episode is I'm not the negative or the worried one, at least right now, compared to some of my co-hosts and my fellow Orange County Soccer Club supporters. Let's get into that. We'll talk about this a little bit. We'll get this thing started. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Zamora. I'm here to take you through this positive journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. We got some help from some familiar faces in this episode. First, Dylan. Dylan, are you on team positive or team negative this week?
I'm not going to be positive about the result, but I still believe it's not time to panic. I do like that you're like, let's be positive, and then you bring me on. So, show's already derailed.
Well, we're gonna do this because you're probably on the more positive side than the next person that's helping us out today. After a long break away from the show, we got Brad. Brad, I already know your answer, but are you on team positive or team negative right now?
You know, I stand behind what I said in the pre-show. For those of you guys who don't sit in the lobby with us here, I said good teams make their own luck, and we don't seem to be making our own luck.
Well, I will agree with you 100%, Brad, that this team is not making their own luck. They're actually not even making their own what you're supposed to do when you're playing this sport. And we saw that this past weekend, just like we've seen in previous matches. This past weekend against New Mexico, a 3-0 loss for Orange County for the good guys at home. But again, I'm going to go total positive mentality on this. If not for some just poor attempts in the first 20, 25 minutes for Orange County, which I feel like Orange County was dominating in the first 20 to 25 minutes of this match, or at least were the better team on the pitch. If not for a couple just unlucky handballs in the box from Coa Santos, and on the third goal, even a misplay by Coa Santos. This result is totally different. I think if Dunbar scores on that shot he has early on in the match where it's a wide open net, and for some reason he takes 3 extra touches on the ball, if he just drives into the back of the net, we score there. This is a totally different match. I think Orange County comes out victorious. I agree with Brad. Good teams make their luck. Good teams score when they should. We didn't do that here. But there's a lot of positive to see from Orange County in this match, even in a 3-0 loss. Dylan, okay, after I've gone through the positive stuff, let's get into Dylan and Brad's negativity here. Dylan, what are your thoughts on this match against New Mexico? Let's talk about it. Go for it.
Sure. I don't think I've seen an Orange County player gift the opposition 2 goals since Albie Skendi last played for Orange County, which was, of course, against Sac Republic. Brad's loving that one, and I'm sure you at home are too. We had the opportunity to make this count early on. We didn't make it count, and it was poor. It's not the worst I've seen them play. I mean, I've seen them completely give up. I think they completely gave up when Paul Hardiman departed the club. I think they gave up on Braden Cloutier as well when he departed the club. Honestly, it felt like they had given up on Richard Chaplow shortly before he left the club as well. So it doesn't feel the same, even if the results have been really bad lately. At some point this season, we'll maybe see shutout Shuttler. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be anytime soon. And I don't think that's his fault.
And part of that is I was going to say part of that is the struggles this team is having on defense. I know if you listen to the stream, if you're watching the stream, they were talking about how Coach Stone mentioned the loss of Grayson Duty has been a tough one for the team. That was someone I think they were really counting on to perform and be a key part of that defense. And obviously with him injured, it's tough, and nothing against Koa Santos, but it's hard to jump in mid-season to get on that. I see Brad's camera went off, but maybe he's ready here. Brad, I want to get your overall thoughts on this match, but I also want to find out from you. Answer this question. Is this the best 3-0 loss that you've seen from Orange County recently?
How many 3-0 losses have we had this year? That's a very pointed question. I'll just kind of break it down a little. I don't think I can't really attest to the entire second half. I was on a flight. I kind of missed it except for the replay highlights. But the first half, I got to see more than enough. We're not making shots that we should. We're making Shakes look so much better than I think he is as a player. He made some outstanding saves, yes, but we need to be, taking a lot of these extra shots and burying them instead of just kind of shooting them straight at him.
All right. There we go. Let me ask you this question, Dylan.
Yes, Raymond.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were there. Let me ask you this question. Do you think, being that it was a 3-0 loss for Orange County, does that scoreline represent what you think the performance was on the field for the team?
Yes. I know we had a bunch of shots on target, and I do think Shakes had a great match. And yeah, some of those shots are easy saves, but also, he barely plays, and Tambakis is normally there, and he gets thrown in because Tambakis is suspended. And, hey, he earned himself a shutout, so he's doing something right. But this is fair because we didn't do anything in the second half, really. And
okay,
yeah, we don't deserve that. I mean, as soon as it hit 3-0, I just thought, obviously we'd get fined, but we could have just saved everybody 90 minutes and a bunch of running around in the rain if we had just not even bothered playing, which is the second time, I think, this season that I've thought that. So it's not going.
Yeah, the weather definitely played a part in this match. I think I don't know if anyone took tally. Maybe producer Andy. Oh, he was busy this weekend, so he probably didn't get a chance to. I'd love to know how many players lost traction or lost footing in this match, because I feel like every couple minutes you saw a player slipping and sliding, going down. All right, let me get into this. I know I'm super positive on this team right now in this episode, at least, but I do want to talk about this because I obviously players need to finish and score, especially when they're giving golden opportunities, which we talked about. Cameron Dunbar, he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one that missed some pretty easy shots. We saw, I think, Kyle Scott try to finesse a shot past the goalie, and it was an easy save. We saw Liam McKinnon decide he wants to try and blast the ball past the face of the goalie for New Mexico. And, that was a very interesting scenario in the match. I mean, it looked like the New Mexico goalie got knocked out. It's almost like I wish we had the clip of Chris Tucker from the movie Friday that we could play right over that portion of the highlights. But, there were multiple players from Orange County that just decided they were going to make it a little easy, I guess. I feel like that was the thing. And I know that's what Brad's sort of talking about, is good teams make their own luck, or good teams, score when they should score, which I think Orange County easily should have had 3 goals in the first half if they're just taking smart shots. I just recognize Cameron Dunbar because that was the first one I saw. And that was sort of that shot where you're like, okay, if this is what's going to happen tonight, this is not going to be a good night for Orange County. Brad, were there any positive signs that you saw from Orange County in this match, or that you can think of? And I know you said you didn't see the whole match, so maybe you can't relate to the second half. Was there anything that you did see, though, that you feel was positive?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about, since I also missed last episode, I'll also allude to the game prior. Kind of in our Twitter X post that we had posted after the game, where we usually give like 1 or 2, statements or words about how it went. I said more does not equal better. We had 22 shots in that game, and I thought we looked absolutely lights out, except we couldn't turn the light on to score a goal in that game. And the first half of this game felt very much the same. I think we did literally everything right except putting the ball in the back of the net. And then, Koa Santos, I don't know what happened to him this game. It was Albie Skendi out here catching not strays. Koa's quickly joining that party of it's not a stray. And then the third goal here that you see on the screen, I don't know what he's thinking there on a back pass that he literally puts no mustard on and kind of just gives Fernando a goal. Totally probably one of the worst defensive breakdowns I've seen a player have, and I really hope that that's not, the future that we see out of him, but good teams make their own luck, and we're not making our own luck.
All right, Dylan, I'm going to have you play Coach Stone for a moment here. What do you tell a player like Koa Santos after that match? What do you say to him to get him moving past this match and ready for the next opportunity, which is against his former team in Colorado Springs, or against Colorado Springs at home? But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't have a coaching badge, or honestly, nor do I have the person skills to be able to manage that situation. But I think you have to actually talk to Pedro. He has to know what he's going to do next. And so he either has to say to Pedro, keep training, the spot's yours next week, and tell Santos, you're going to sit, take a break, you're still in the plan, whatever that may be. But he's got to figure out who's playing next, first off. That's kind of the biggest thing. Is it bad performance? Yes. Is he unlucky to slip and have a PK called? Yes. Does he need to do better on that last goal? Yeah. I think you bench him. You'll get your chance again. But right now, it's time for Pedro to, earn his shot. We've seen this in the past. Kobe Henry had a rough go for a while. He got dropped. Joe Miko got dropped in about mid-2019 after a particularly bad match, which I believe was against Portland. Missed a week, came back, and then kept Kevin Alston out of the team for a while. It's up to him. People have described him as a good player and someone that's going to do well for Orange County. If, again, we look at this average kind of positioning thing, he is kind of stuck out there. And obviously his issues this match were just all going backwards. Oh, well. Life goes on.
I love Dylan with a Tupac quote there.
Yeah, I think, I'm sure we've got a title for this one, but the Charlie Crockett song, Good at Losing, would also work for Orange County at this point in the year. Maybe a Rowdy's podcast wants to take that one from me. Beloved New Mexico fan and friend of the show, Chris Walker, has some thoughts that he texted me. I forgot to get him on tonight, so that's on me. Sorry, Chris. He says, while the scoreline 3-0 from a New Mexico standpoint, they could be happy after two grueling losses, he doesn't think that the win resolves the underlying issue of quality in terms of possession and distribution. I did watch them pass through the Orange County lines a handful of times, so I think maybe he's being too critical, and maybe we're being too critical. He doesn't think that New Mexico really would have found that third goal, and he thinks it really would have been 1-0 without those two penalties, which I'm inclined to agree. If you look at the XG, I think New Mexico had like 2.98 or something like that. If you subtract two penalties from that, that's 1.5, and if you subtract what was probably close to 1 XG from that one, maybe 0.75, we'll say 0.75. They're looking at under 1 XG, and Orange County's looking at 0.98 XG. So this definitely should have been a 1-0 match. Some defensive lapses, some crucial mistakes. It becomes a 3-0 match. To allude to what Brad's been saying, good teams make their own luck, unfortunately. We are right now not a good team. We are not lucky, which means we didn't lose this match 1-0 or win this match 1-0. We lost 3-0.
I feel like Dylan's making an argument for me on this, which I love, because he's basically, first of all, Dylan, I didn't know you could calculate XG. So we're going to make that an official title for you, that you're the XG doctorate here on the show.
Yeah, I'm
XJ?
the doctor of the Jaguar
Doctor of XG. But I mean, you're making the argument for me that it wasn't as bad as a lot of people seem to think it was. I mean, really, if not for the misfortunes of one Koa Santos, this is a totally different match. And we're looking at, yes, a loss. We dropped points, and last week we did the same. But I feel like these last two matches were quality matches and quality performance for Orange County. We're just not finishing. And I get that sucks when you hear someone say that as a fan, as a supporter of a team. You want to see your team score. It happens. And I think we saw some poor runs last season, and then they turned it around and had a great finish to the season. Who knows how that all works out for Orange County? They will have plenty of opportunity for that. Brad, it looks like you maybe want to jump in and say something, because I saw you go to try and unmute your mic.
Yeah, no, like I get it. I'm a critical person. I think the team's not playing horrible. I'm not putting really any of these recent losses on Coach Stone. He's gonna right the ship. I'm fairly trustworthy in that, and I think really, at the end of the day, someone's got to be stepping up, and I think it needs to be two people. One person needs to start finding the back of the net, and one person needs to start being that anchor on the back wall that we need, a Robbie Kiernan, a Dylan Powers, someone to step up on that back line and really limit the mistakes, hold people accountable for it, because at the end of the day, we haven't had a clean sheet at all this season, including the Open Cup game that we played in, and that's not all entirely on Shuttler. In fact, I think Shuttler's played fairly well this season. You're not saving 2 penalty kicks every game. You're not in this game. He didn't get a save any. And then that one goal, he was kind of out in no man's land due to a just horrible back pass. So 2 people need to stand up on this team. Someone's got to find the back of the net. If that's Zubak, if that's Mo War, if that's McKinnon, someone's got to start getting those goals in, and someone needs to lead on that back line, and it's got to be probably Brewitt in this situation. He's the captain.
Yeah, and we did see the return of Ethan Zubak in this match for the final third of the match, which is a good sign for Orange County. They need to see him scoring some goals. Maybe having him back in there as the one true center forward or striker for this roster, maybe that'll help turn things around for the team on there. And you know, as far as for help on defense, Dylan, maybe you can reach out to your good friend and former fastest man on Orange County, Albie Skendi, see what he's up to these days.
Yeah, something tells me that 2 years of coastal Los Angeles partying has probably not left him in the best of shape to be thrown into the back line. If I had to guess, seeing as his legs were presumably shot halfway through a season with Orange County. I like that he's catching a lot of strays. I mean, I know I'm just like hammering him this episode, but... I was going to say, I want to know, like, what were the odds or what was the over under on how many Albie Skendi references would be on this episode? I'm sure we've already exceeded what those odds would have been, right, Brad, Mr. Vegas? He doesn't know.
I'm not creating odds on former player mentions.
I could not get it out of my head after watching the game, but the whole time I was thinking, ooh, Santos is having a really bad night tonight, and he should probably come off. And yes, he did eventually come off. But at least I have the feeling that he's a good player in this one. And I mean, hey, if he starts taking digital swings at the players or at the fans on Instagram, then it's a different story, I guess. But I don't think we can say from one match that he's a bust. I think that's incredibly unfair to him. Orange County itself, not very good right now. If he comes into a team that's actually playing well, we're probably having a conversation about, like, how did Colorado Springs let this guy go? He's so great. Instead, we're sitting around and I don't think it's his fault. Even if 2 of those
I think it's a tough match.
Are absolutely his fault. And I don't think it's Colin Shuttler's fault, really. I mean, this is a team thing where ultimately they have to figure out how to put the ball in the back of the net with some regularity at this point. Maybe at the same time, they can also figure out how to stop conceding. Because, like, our problems don't really get solved if we stop conceding and we just draw 0-0 for the next 5 games. Our problems only stop if we start scoring 2 goals a game or 3 goals a game.
I thought Dylan was going to come up with
a game.
I thought you were going to come up with some new thing, Dylan, where it's like, I thought you were going to say, like, you know, Koa Santos is having a Skendi. which was going to represent just a bad night on there.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing. It's precision-crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision-crafted performance.
Take your vibes on go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Let's move ahead past this, right? Again, I seem to be the one that's still positive, at least the more positive than Brad or Dylan. I don't know where Larry is. He's MIA tonight. I don't know where he'd be. Maybe he'd be with me. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he melted in all that rain if he was at the match this past weekend. But Orange County is going to look to rebound. They have a home match against Colorado Springs for that opportunity. If you don't recall, Colorado Springs, the reigning champions of the USL Championship, former team of Koa Santos. Maybe Koa's bringing some scouting to Danny Stone and letting Coach Stone know what to expect with his team. And because he was there at the beginning of the season, so obviously he went through the preseason with them. I think he made an appearance before he came to Orange County. He made an appearance with Colorado Springs, so he knows what's up with that team. Is this the match? I'll go to you first, Brad. Is this the match where Orange County can turn it around? Is Colorado Springs vulnerable at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, Colorado Springs has a game in hand over Orange County right now, and they're 1 point higher on the table. Orange County technically is tied for 10th with Oakland Roots, 11th on tiebreakers out of 12 teams in the West. Colorado Springs is sitting in 9th. And one of the things that the broadcast crew last Saturday highlighted a lot was how close this Western Conference is, and just kind of nobody's out of the running yet. It's not even close. Orange County is 6 points, 2 wins off of second place still, with all the struggles that the teams had early in the season. It's still not over. And while, yes, I'm a negative Nancy and I'm a doom and gloomer, a lot of teams are struggling, and it's not necessarily a struggle, but it's more of a everyone's taking wins off of everybody. And so if you start making a run at this early in the season, mid-season stride, anything can happen over the next 10 games. This is going to be the last home game in a month, and I think we are going to be very spoiled that it's going to be on local television on KCAL instead of just being on ESPN Plus or Golazo or whatever network the league uses now.
Dylan, your thoughts. What do you need to see? Like, really, what do we need from Orange County in this match? What do you think they need to do to be able to beat Colorado Springs and move up? I mean, they beat Colorado Springs, and there's a couple other results that go their way. They're back in the top 8, and it's again not doom and gloom. I think we're 8 points from the top of the table early on in the season, which doesn't sound great, but it could be a lot worse.
It could be. No, it could be slightly worse because we are second bottom technically. So we're right there. But ultimately, I think we need to score 2 goals in this match to have a shot. Wantahata has been kind of a known quantity around here. Orange County native Justin Dillon, I believe, still plying his trade out there in Colorado. I'm more worried about Wantahata. I know Justin Dillon had a pretty good game against us at the tail end of last year. Honestly, I know we talked about Koa Santos, and I can only imagine what Ray's doing in the background right now. I know that we've talked about Koa Santos, getting his chance. I don't think he gets his chance. I mean, I would like to see Pedro in this situation and see what he can do. I would also like to see our front line do something great. I would like to see Chris Hagart. If we're going to talk about players making up for rough performances in the past, it was last year, sure. I'd like to see Chris Hagart really kind of come into his own and be the late 2024 Chris Hagart that we know is in there somewhere. Whether that means he comes in as a sub because he's a little bit pissed off, or whether he starts just to really give us some control at the top of the pitch, whatever works. And then, of course, putting a couple past Abraham Romero, no disrespect to him, it's possible. It is doable. We've seen it happen a handful of times as he played for Los Dos. Happened a handful of times as he played for us. We just have to score a bunch of goals, to be honest with you. I think I've talked about we can have a shutout, but I don't think it's going to happen this week. They score with too much regularity.
Well, obviously, if you score a bunch of goals, it makes your chances better for a result and the full 3 points on that.
I know, really high-level analysis, but if we look at the matches that Colorado played, they scored a goal against the Red Bulls. They scored a goal against Phoenix. They scored a goal against Pittsburgh. Last time they were goalless was a 0-0 draw against Vegas. They tend to score pretty regularly, so it's going to be a shootout, I think, which is, again, the way that the team was set up at the beginning of this year. It just hasn't clicked yet.
Brad?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when we highlighted the team early this season, Liam McKinnon, Ethan Zubak, Mo War, a lot of offensive firepower that we haven't seen since Milan Olowski left is in this lineup now. And someone's got to step up. We got to be producing that offensive firepower that we've been expecting since the beginning of the season and start finding our own luck, finding our own shots going into the back of the net. Someone's got to call their own number here.
Possibly a way that the team can find some luck is if you actually support us and follow us and subscribe to us either on social media, for podcasting, YouTube, wherever it is. Make sure you follow us and you subscribe to us. That might bring some luck to Orange County Soccer Club. I love that my co-hosts are sort of laughing in the background of this, but everyone knows that's listened to the show. I know Dylan knows, and sometimes he gives me a hard time for it, but I'm part of that superstition and luck and sort of doing wonky things that creates things. I've done things like 5-0 predictions for the opponents. I've done things like drinking some pretty good rum during our championship run, which resulted in a championship. I tried recently this season to drink a shot of Malort on an episode to try and bring some good luck, which did not work, and I haven't drank it since. Anyone that knows what Malort is know that's dedication. If you're doing a shot of Malort to try and get your team to win, I know the supporters do that.
You only did one, and that's why we're not winning. You have to keep doing it. So go get, yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not watching, this is why you watch live. This is why you watch on Spotify.
He has
get
one.
The video. Chicago, the Pope is here, and we're gonna do some shots of Malort. I think.
I wish I could pass you some shots through the stream, but I really can't do that. So, Maddie King is saying, Ray, bring back the Malort. I don't have a glass to drink this out of except for my beer glass. I can mix it with beer, right? I don't know if that would work,
buddy. I don't know. We're doing it straight.
But then I can't share this with anyone. I mean, then it's my specific bottle of Malort.
I can go get my own, but then I have to go downstairs, and that just sounds like a lot of effort mid-show. But
too much work for Brad to go downstairs.
Just if you want to tilt it, you can do it. This is an Orange County thing I've learned, by the way. You can birdie it. Otherwise, I would have just said just pour it down your gullet. I mean, the contents of Malort are definitely germ-proof. I'll put it that way. Whatever's living is not living after Malort touches it.
I like it that DK on the chats. Again, if you don't watch live, we're live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And you can participate with us in the chats. We'll see what you're saying. We'll share it sometimes. DK, who's been on the show, he's a writer for us, said he'll drink a shot of Malort with me. I think that's making it where Brad needs to go grab his Malort so he can do a shot with us. Dylan, you'll just have to pretend. We will do that in just a bit. I will do it for y'all. I want to make this happen. But we got to figure out what our thoughts are on this match. I know we've talked about this. I really feel like Orange County needs to pull this out. This is a part of the season now where we do this almost every year, where we're talking about, when is it time to panic? When is it time to panic? Now, obviously, I've said I'm not panicking yet. I think the team is showing some good stuff. We're just not finishing. We will get there. Before we get to the predictions for this match, and I'll go to you first, Dylan, since I think Brad is going to try and get his Malort out of the kitchen, which apparently is downstairs. So Brad, living in a big fancy two-story place.
Fancy house, man. Look at him. He's been hitting
Dylan,
the tables.
What is the magic number for you to start freaking out or worrying or whatever you want to call it about this team this season? Knowing we're still relatively new into the season, a third of the way through or something. What's the magic number for you where you're going to start freaking out?
What number of what? Goals we don't score?
Games before we start freaking out. Based on what you're thinking, the way you're seeing the results right now, if they keep playing this way.
Okay, so I hate doing this, but as Brad said, there's real parity here in the West. That's why it's the Western Conference. Teams will take points from teams. And so if that continues to happen, and we occasionally take another point or 3 points from another team, we could go 25 matches into the season and still have a shot. Now, I will probably hit the panic button around 17 if we keep playing like this, but as long as teams keep for lack of a better term, bottling it random weeks, we could go all year long like this. As long as we get a sniff of 8th and find ourselves into 8th, it's going to be fine.
All right,
this
Brad,
team, they love it, right? I mean, we saw what happened in 2021. The league didn't even bother printing the right team because they were like, oh, no, San Antonio's got this. Look at how that worked out. We got to get trashed. I had an old dude pour a bunch of beer all over me. And guess what? We lifted the cup and spoiled the St. Pete party. So keep down.
And you got to be seen on national TV with fanny pack and no shirt, which is the highlight of all that.
I know. I have to say, to brag here, having lost 40 pounds, it's not as funny as it once was.
Here's what I want to say, Dylan. I don't know why you have not done this yet. Why have you not gone and tried to obtain an image of that and make a t-shirt of that and put some sort of fun, catchy headline? You should have done that in 2021, right after the championship. I guarantee you sell some shirts of that. I feel like the Tampa Bay people should have done something similar when you had the three of them sitting there looking like very miserable and flipping the bird. Those would have been some really fun shirts. For those that don't know, go check out some images from back in the championship match in 2021 or watch some highlights. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about now. Brad, go Dylan. You have something to say.
I was going to say, no one needs a shirt of me shirtless, but I would actually love to hear Brad's thoughts on when do we hit the panic button?
I guarantee you some of our listeners would buy that shirt right now. If we said, we're going to produce it, we will make it. I guarantee you. Put it in the chats. If you would buy a shirt of Dylan with no shirt and a fanny pack with some sort of cool saying on it, let us know if you'd buy that. And if we get enough love from that, we will make it happen. Okay, Brad, magic number for you when you're going to start panicking based on what you've seen from Orange County.
I'm giving it until the end of this 4-game road streak. Now, I'm not going to be expecting wins in all 4 of these games, but I hope we at least take 1 point or 1 win on the road. Yes, I know. My dog is...
Brad, your dog does not agree with you.
Wendy, it sounds like, is hitting the panic button right now. So
No. Disagreeing with Brad, saying that's too low of a number. They're saying, nope, it should be higher. It should be like 10. So
we can keep... I think, she's kissing Brad, but I think she's also probably still barking because that's just what Aussies do. Ray, when are you hitting the panic button if it keeps going like this?
Well, again, what we're talking about here, right? You all are mentioning the parity aspect of things. We are currently 2 points out of 8th place. We are currently 6 points out of 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd place. So I'm not worried right now.
Top, balls down into the channels to chase a little bit, and then we saw a lot of balls over the top, balls down into the channels to chase a little bit.
But we got to get the Dylan shirt. That's what we really need. We need the Dylan shirt.
I do have that saved somewhere, thanks to beloved DK.
DK did say he would buy that shirt. Maddie's loving the dog, so maybe if we get a shirt with Brad's dog, Maddie will buy a shirt. But no, my magic number right now, I'm going to say I'm going to wait 8 more matches, and then I will see if I should start panicking at that point. Even if we continue with these sort of similar type of results, I feel like in 8 matches, we still have plenty of time to recover. We've seen that in the past. We saw that last season. We saw that the championship season. We know it can happen. Maybe this is just what Orange County does. Maybe this is just our thing, right? Regardless of who the coach is, regardless of who's on the roster, if we're going to have a good season, it just has to be, we struggle, and then we figure it out. We go on a run. Maybe that's just what these players want to do. They don't want to work hard until the final couple months of the season, and then they put in all their work and make things happen.
Somehow that's the most questionable thing that's been said on the show all night. And I spent 10 minutes slagging off Aggie's, whatever his name is, and we just had a dog barking. So,
all right.
But somehow, still, you find a way.
So I got to ask Brad. Brad, are you participating in this with me? All right, Brad is participating. So Dylan, because Brad and I are going to be busy drinking something, you have to talk for the next 30 to 45 seconds or however long it takes.
How long does it take you to take a shot of Malort?
Okay, I'm just going to show this really quick. I got to turn off my screen, right? I did a pretty... Really quick, hopefully my camera... I mean, that's a pretty decent size there. So it might take me a few minutes to do this, just so you know. If you're not familiar with Malort, look it up.
If you're not familiar with Malort, oh, God.
Did we find it? There is the Dylan.
Oh, God.
Come on. We got to get someone...
so much.
So someone that has some artistic touch, get us a cartoon of that. Get us something with Dylan doing that in that outfit. Let's make a shirt out of this. Let's make some money. That might, hey, for all we've tried to do over the last 6, 7, 8 years to fund this show, that might be what it takes to fund this show is a shirt of a shirtless Dylan. All right. And DK is going to join us. So Dylan, talk.
Great. I've lost 40 pounds since that video was taken. And, most of that was 7 to 10 hours of cardio per week for about 7 months. A handful of it was not drinking and not eating 2 hours before bed. So, if you have a dad bod and you want to have something resembling a six-pack like I now do, apparently, if you want to look like the machinist, which is what my body now looks like, then, yeah, that's what I would do for that one. That being said, May 31st, I will be in Monterey. The khakis will make an appearance, and the fanny pack will make an appearance. And if we score a goal, the shirt's coming off. Shirt. I mean, awesome. Or if we concede 5 goals, the shirt's coming off, and I'm just going to pretend we've scored a goal. So I'd rather celebrate a real one, to be honest with you. It's back. Maybe that's the key. I'll start wearing a fanny pack every Saturday, and I'll just whip my shirt off randomly and pour beer all over myself until we start winning.
So you could have stopped talking like 20 seconds ago because I actually did that pretty fast. I was actually surprised that I was able to drink that. And I love that Brad went straight from the bottle. He probably drank more than me. So good job, Brad.
Brad went straight from the bottle repeatedly, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I had like 2 shots in the glass.
So. Yeah. I had to catch up from his first attempt.
Let me say this really quick. I think we need to make this shirt. This is something we have to make happen. We're going to figure this out. If anyone wants to help us produce these shirts, we'll figure this out. This would be a really good shirt. It will sell. Even if people don't know who you are, what Orange County Soccer Club is, or anything, it will sell. It's one of those funky things that will sell. I'm telling you, Dylan.
Do you really have thoughts about this game? That's what I'm most curious about. You have nothing.
Hey, I said we need to do something here. Let's get our predictions in. Brad, what's your prediction for this match against Colorado Springs?
Let's go with something nice. 1-1. I don't think it's nice.
He says, let's go with something nice. And then he says 1-1. And he says, I don't think it's nice. I think the Malort is already hitting Brad. So sorry about that, Brad. And that's in the green room, Dylan. So you don't need to laugh at that. What is your prediction for this match, Dylan?
I'm going to be an optimist. I'm busting the fanny pack out, and I'll find a way and a reason to rip my shirt off randomly during the middle of the day. 2-1, Orange County. It's not yet shutout time, but we're going to score.
And you do know we're talking about the Colorado Springs match, right? So you're not going to Colorado Springs and wearing the fanny pack there.
I don't think it matters anymore. Honestly, we're just going to see what... We're going to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And, yeah.
Well, let's do this. In an episode full of fun stuff, my prediction on this is going to be 5-0 Colorado Springs. And this is going to result in some good stuff. I did a double shot of Malort, and I'm doing my 5-0 prediction. This is working, Dylan. This is happening.
It takes a village, whatever it takes. If I can't be there out in the field 2-footing opposition players, then, or, what's really in vogue now is just elbowing them in the head after they've cleared the ball away, then whatever. I will rip my shirt off and wear a fanny pack. You'll do shots of Malort. DK 2-1 Orange County. Last positive prediction. Let's get the W. I'm with him on that
Freddie
one.
Ramirez. Don't forget about Freddie.
0-0. Freddie, honestly, I think I would take it just because a clean sheet. But again, I think we need to score goals. We need to start scoring goals. That's our problem here. We can stop scoring goals in the playoffs as long as we know how to hold clean sheets, but we should score some goals to get to the playoffs.
There we go. Well, there we have it. Let's talk about any other soccer stuff anyone wants to talk about. Anyone have other soccer news to discuss? Brad, do you have anything?
For the first time in a long time, Everton is going to be finishing well above the line and well above Tottenham. So who saw that at the beginning of the season?
I think Wendy wants you to talk about Bramley Moore Hill Dick Stadium or whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah, whatever law firm it is that bought the rights.
Glad she has something to say.
Dog podcast. Andy, producer Andy's up on here. What do you got?
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell. You can tell he's loving this episode. Hey, here we go. You ready? In about little over 17 hours, Tottenham will be lifting their first trophy in years after they have defeated Manchester United in Spain in the Europa League final. So regardless of where we finished in the table below your Everton, Brad, and miles above your Luton Town, Dylan, we will be lifting a trophy. Y'all won't. So in the immortal words of Degeneration X, suck it. Dylan, what do you got?
I got a couple questions for you. What was the last trophy that Tottenham lifted by chance?
A long time ago.
The Audi Cup?
Well, that does not count. I am not one of those Spurs fans that's going to count that preseason tournament that happened. I mean, you have to go back years prior to my Tottenham fandom.
And just so we can really infuriate the Basque people, you don't believe in the Basque country? Is that correct?
I support their independence, but right now they are part of Spain, so I'm going to say Spain. But I do support their independence. I feel like people should be allowed to be who they want to be. So Dylan's trying to just get people to hate me, which is what Dylan likes to do. He likes to make me the villain, even though everybody loves Raymond and nobody loves Dylan. Man, how many random references are we going to make on this show? We got to wrap things up because I know producer Andy is just pulling his hair out. So what did we learn this episode? I'll go to you first, Dylan.
No, I asked you, my friend.
Okay, what did I learn?
Producer Andy, by the way, they won the FA Cup in 1991.
There we go. That's the last trophy.
You were, what, 13 when that happened?
Look at Dylan's mathing it up today. Not only with my age, but with XG. I learned Dylan should be the cast as the star in Good Will Hunting 2 soccer math because we know that's Dylan's thing there apparently. So he's going to come up here and say, how about them oranges or something stupid like that to make fun of the how about them apples. Brad, what did you learn this episode?
I learned that I got to let Wendy speak because she has a lot to say. So I'm going to give this moment to her. Do you have anything further to say?
Stage fright.
Stage
fright for Wendy.
She don't say anything anymore.
She's like, wait. I don't want to be on camera. I just want to be off camera making all the noise. Dylan, what did you learn this episode?
I learned that I'm maybe a little more optimistic than I thought I was. I learned just how chaotic this could be, and things might be going poorly, but we're still having a good time. So let me put it this way: I was not looking forward to the show Saturday night when the game ended. I sent a bunch of texts that I cannot repeat on the show to a handful of people.
And in the end, you had fun.
And in the end, we're having fun. So we've won some years. We've been really bad some other years. Usually it's somewhere in between. Usually we go on lots of runs. So
And regardless if we're winning or losing, we keep doing this and we keep talking about it. We keep having fun. We love having y'all participate. Apparently, though, I don't know if it's because of my Tottenham support or what it is, but Maddie wants me canceled. No, it's poor Maddie because
refusal to support Basque nationalism.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to share a Capelli update, but I guess Maddie will not have to hear this because she's wanting to cancel me. So we will move past that. With that said, I don't think anyone else has anything else to say. So we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank everyone, including my co-host, Dylan, Brad, producer Andy in the background, all of the people listening to this episode, participating in this episode. Hey, this is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. We are... Wait, hold on. We got to pause. Dylan's trying to get that shirt off really quick. He can't make it happen. So we are out.